Everyone thought the problems surrounding Bugatti rebuilds had already reached their peak during the famous Chiron situation, but now the same kind of drama has returned once again, and this time it may be even more complicated. When Mat Armstrong revealed that he had purchased a damaged Bugatti Veyron for another ambitious rebuild project, fans immediately became excited because his channel has built a reputation around taking broken supercars and slowly bringing them back to life. At first, the Veyron project looked exactly like the kind of rebuild viewers had already seen many times before. The damaged car arrived at the garage. The team inspected it carefully, and the process of removing damaged parts slowly began. Everything seemed normal. The plan was simple: find the faults, order the needed parts, repair the car step by step, and eventually return the Veyron to its former glory. That formula has worked perfectly for Mat Armstrong on many other vehicles because his content is built around patience, problem solving, and mechanical skill. However, the moment the deeper inspection started, it quickly became clear that this Bugatti project would not follow the normal path. The Veyron is not just another supercar. It is one of the most advanced and expensive production cars ever built. Every part inside the car is highly specialized. Every system is engineered with extreme precision, and even basic maintenance can cost more than a normal family car. As the team continued looking to the vehicle, they discovered serious mechanical problems, missing components, worn-out systems, and rare parts that would be difficult to replace. Instead of becoming overwhelmed, Mat approached the rebuild carefully and methodically, creating a complete list of everything the car would need. That included service components, mechanical repairs, interior pieces, electronics, and even a replacement speed key, which is one of the most important and rare items on a Bugatti Veyron. In theory, the process should have been straightforward after that point. Once the problems are identified, the next step is usually to contact suppliers, order the necessary components, and continue to rebuild. But because this was a Bugatti, the situation suddenly changed in a way that nobody expected. The biggest turning point in the story happened when Mat Armstrong attempted to contact Bugatti dealerships directly in order to buy genuine parts for the Veyron rebuild. His goal was simple and completely reasonable. He wanted official factory components, so the car could be repaired properly without relying on questionable second-hand parts or risky shortcuts. For many car builders, that would normally be a routine process. Manufacturers and dealerships usually sell replacement parts to owners and repair shops every day. But the response from Bugatti was completely different. According to the stories shared in the rebuild, the first dealership did not even respond at all. That silence alone felt strange, considering Bugatti is one of the most prestigious automotive brands in the world. Eventually, another dealership finally answered the request, but the conversation immediately revealed a major problem. The dealership reportedly explained that they would not simply sell the needed parts directly. Instead, the car would have to be brought to Bugatti itself, so their technicians could carry out the work under their own supervision. That single statement completely changed the direction of the entire project because it meant Mat Armstrong would lose control over the rebuild process. Instead of independently repairing the Veyron inside his own workshop, the car would have to remain within the Bugatti system. The dealership would decide what repairs were necessary, how the repairs would be performed, and how much everything would cost. For many viewers, this immediately brought back memories of the earlier Chiron rebuild controversy, where similar concerns about manufacturer control had already been discussed. At first, some people believed the Chiron situation may have been a unique case caused by safety concerns or extreme repair complexity. But seeing similar restrictions appear again with the Veyron started making the situation feel more like a consistent policy rather than a one-time exception. That idea became one of the most interesting parts of the story because the rebuild was no longer only about fixing a damaged hypercar. It had now become part of a larger debate about ownership, repair rights, and how much control luxury manufacturers should have over the vehicles they sell. Many viewers began asking an important question. If someone legally owns a car, especially one worth millions of dollars, should they have the freedom to repair themselves, or should the manufacturer maintain complete control over every major repair and service procedure? One reason this story became so fascinating for automotive fans is because the Bugatti Veyron is not an ordinary performance car. It represents one of the most extreme engineering achievements ever placed on public roads. When Bugatti introduced the Veyron, the car completely changed expectations for what a road-going vehicle could achieve. Its massive W16 engine, advanced cooling systems, complex electronics, and incredible top speed made it one of the most technically advanced machines in automotive history. Because of that complexity, Bugatti has always maintained extremely strict standards regarding maintenance and repairs. Even a basic service on a Veyron is famously expensive, often costing tens of thousands of dollars, depending on what needs to be replaced. Tires alone can cost more than many used cars, and certain repairs require highly trained specialists using manufacturer-approved equipment. From Bugatti's perspective, these restrictions may exist for important reasons. A Veyron produces enormous power and operates under extreme conditions, meaning a poorly performed repair could potentially create serious safety risks. The company likely wants to protect both the vehicle's reliability and the brand's reputation by ensuring repairs meet factory standards. However, many independent builders and automotive enthusiasts see the issue very differently. They argue that once a customer purchases a vehicle, especially at such an enormous price, ownership should include the freedom to choose who repairs it and how the work is completed. This disagreement sits at the center of the entire rebuild story. On one side is a manufacturer focused on control, safety, and quality standards. On the other side is an independent creator known for rebuilding damaged supercars using creativity, patience, and skill. That conflict naturally creates tension because viewers understand how difficult the situation really is. If Mat Armstrong hands a car over to Bugatti, the rebuild may become incredibly expensive while also removing much of the project from his direct control. But if he keeps the Veyron inside his own workshop, he faces a challenge of sourcing rare components independently while working on one of the most complicated cars ever built. Every system inside the Veyron is connected to multiple other systems, including the gearbox, cooling setup, electronics, fluid management, and pressure systems. A small mistake in one area could create major problems somewhere else. That level of complexity is exactly why the rebuild feels so intense and unpredictable. Another reason the Veyron rebuild attracted so much attention is because Mat Armstrong has built a strong reputation for taking on projects that many people believe are impossible. Over the years, his channel has shown damaged Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, and other high-end vehicles slowly being restored through determination and mechanical problem-solving. Viewers enjoy these videos because they combine entertainment with real technical challenges. Instead of simply showing finished cars, the content focuses on setbacks, discoveries, failed attempts, and moments where solutions have to be created from scratch. That style makes audiences feel personally connected to the rebuild process because they experience the progress step by step alongside the creator. The Bugatti Veyron project raised the stakes higher than ever before because it introduced problems that could not easily be solved using normal methods. Most rebuild projects involve finding replacement parts from suppliers, salvage yards, or manufacturers. But Bugatti's restrictions created barriers that felt much larger than ordinary repair difficulties. Suddenly, the story was no longer only about fixing mechanical problems. It became a battle against limited access, high costs, and manufacturer policies that prevented the project from moving forward easily. Many viewers found themselves supporting Mat Armstrong because they saw him as an independent builder trying to overcome systems designed for exclusive factory control. At the same time, others understood why Bugatti might want strict oversight over repairs involving a hypercar capable of extraordinary speeds and performance. This balance between admiration for engineering excellence and frustration with repair restrictions made the story especially engaging. The emotional tension continued growing because every choice carried serious consequences. Sending the Veyron to Bugatti could result in repair costs reaching incredible levels very quickly. Basic services on these cars already cost huge amounts of money, and once major repairs, diagnostics, and rare components are added, the total could become almost impossible to predict. Yet trying to complete everything independently also creates enormous risks. Certain Bugatti systems require specialized tools and knowledge that few workshops in the world possess. Even experienced mechanics must approach the car carefully because mistakes could damage extremely expensive components. That uncertainty kept viewers invested because nobody knew exactly how the project would continue. Every update created new questions about whether the rebuild could realistically succeed under such difficult conditions. The situation also started a wider conversation within the automotive community about the growing issue of repair restrictions across many industries. Although the Bugatti Veyron represents an extreme example because of its rarity and complexity, similar debates have appeared in technology, farming equipment, consumer electronics, and even ordinary modern vehicles. Many companies now design products that rely heavily on proprietary software, specialized tools, and manufacturer-only systems. As a result, independent repair shops and private owners often struggle to access parts, diagnostics, or official support. Supporters of the so-called right to repair movement believe consumers should have greater freedom to repair the products they own without depending entirely on manufacturers. They argue that restrictions can lead to higher costs, unnecessary waste, and reduce consumer choice. The Bugatti rebuild unexpectedly became connected to this larger discussion because viewers saw the same pattern appearing in the automotive world at the highest level possible. The idea that someone could legally own a multi-million-dollar hypercar, yet still face major obstacles when trying to buy official parts, felt surprising to many people. Some viewers even compared the situation to modern smartphones or computers where manufacturers control access to components and repairs through authorized networks. However, defenders of Bugatti's approach point out that the Veyron is not a typical consumer product. It is an extremely rare machine with enormous performance capabilities, meaning mistakes during repairs could create serious safety concerns or damage the company's image. They argue that Bugatti's strict oversight helps maintain quality standards and protects both owners and the public. This difference of opinion helped the story spread far beyond normal automotive audiences because it touched on broader questions about ownership and control in the modern world. For Mat Armstrong, though, the issue remained very personal and practical. He still needed to find a way to continue the rebuild. Every delay increased pressure on the project because viewers expected progress while the list of challenges kept growing. Rare components, missing parts, complex systems, and dealership restrictions combined to create one of the most difficult situations his channel had ever faced. Yet that difficulty also became the reason the series generated so much excitement online. People were not only watching a car repair anymore, they were watching a creator attempt to navigate systems that even wealthy owners and experienced workshops sometimes struggled to deal with successfully as the rebuild continued. One of the most interesting parts of the story became the emotional side of the challenge rather than only the technical details. Large rebuild projects always involve stress, uncertainty, and financial pressure, but a Bugatti Veyron introduced those elements on an entirely different level. Every decision carried major consequences because the value of the vehicle and the cost of its components were so extreme. A wrong purchase, damaged part, or failed repair attempt could potentially cost thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. That pressure naturally affects the atmosphere inside the workshop. Viewers could sense that this was not just another entertaining YouTube series. It was a genuine high-risk project where every step mattered. One reason audiences connect strongly with rebuild content is because they enjoy seeing determination and persistence during difficult moments. When a career faces setbacks but continues pushing forward anyway, viewers become emotionally invested in the outcome. The Veyron project captured that feeling perfectly because the obstacles seemed to grow larger every time progress appeared possible. Even something as simple as obtaining a replacement speed key became an important issue because Bugatti components are not widely available like normal car parts. The rebuild highlighted how ownership of hypercars can be very different from ownership of ordinary vehicles. Many people dream about owning a Bugatti because of its incredible speed, luxury, and prestige, but projects like this reveal the hidden realities behind maintaining such machines. The costs are enormous. The systems are highly specialized, and access to support can become complicated very quickly. At the same time, that exclusivity is part of what makes Bugatti fascinating. The company builds cars that sit at the absolute top of automotive engineering, and maintaining that reputation requires strict standards. This creates a difficult balance between exclusivity and accessibility. Viewers watching Rebuild found themselves constantly switching between admiration for Bugatti's engineering and frustration toward the restrictions surrounding the car. That emotional complexity made the story far more engaging than a simple repair series. Instead of only wondering whether the Veyron would run again, audiences also started thinking about larger questions involving independence, ownership rights, and the future of high-performance automotive repair. The project demonstrated how modern vehicles, especially highly advanced ones, are becoming increasingly dependent on manufacturer systems and official networks. For independent builders like Mat Armstrong, that trend could make future rebuild projects far more difficult than they were in the past. One of the biggest strengths of the entire Veyron rebuild story is the way it combines technical interest with human drama. Some automotive projects focus only on specifications, horsepower numbers, or repair procedures, which can sometimes feel too specialized for general audiences. This rebuild succeeds because it presents the car as part of a larger narrative involving risk, control, determination, and problem-solving. Even viewers who are not experts in mechanics can understand the emotional stakes. They understand what it means to chase an ambitious goal while facing unexpected barriers. That is why the story connected with such a wide audience online. The Veyron itself already attracted attention because it is one of the most famous hypercars ever made. But the rebuild became even more compelling once the dealership restrictions entered the picture. Suddenly, there was a clear conflict driving the narrative forward. On one side stood an independent creator trying to restore an iconic machine through skill and persistence. On the other side stood one of the world's most exclusive automotive brands with strict systems and policies controlling access to repairs. That conflict naturally created suspense because viewers wanted to know whether creativity and determination could overcome such massive obstacles. The pacing of the rebuild also helped maintain interest because each new discovery revealed additional layers of complexity. One moment the project seemed manageable, and the next moment another major problem appeared involving electronics, mechanical systems, or missing parts. Those constant developments kept audiences returning for updates because the situation never felt